Hey guys, it's me, Cali. Today I'm really excited to be sharing with you the art journal page that I created for the November Mission Inspiration Art Challenge. Mission Inspiration is an art prompt challenge hosted each month by Mike Deakin. He gives us a list of prompts, and based on those prompts we create an art journal page. This is the page that I created, and I hope you'll stick around and I'll share my process with you. Don't forget to check out all the links in my description box below, including a link to Mike Deakin's Facebook group where you can join in and create your own page each month. I had a lot of fun. Stick around. Okay guys, let's get started. As per usual, I'm using my Big Delusions journal by Ranger. I have masking tape down the center of the page, and I have not put any gesso down. We're just going to keep the page as it is, put some wax paper behind, and we're ready to go. So our first prompt is to glue and layer blocks of newspaper text. Well, I don't receive any newspapers, but I did have this mixed media paper that I got in some Happy Mail that looks like newspaper text. So I've cut it up into squares and blocks, and I'm going to use some of my DecoArt decoupage matte medium and literally just cover the whole page and layer these newspaper blocks. So it's going to get messy, and I'll just show you this one and I'll do the rest off camera. Okay, and then I'll just layer it by literally going right on top. Okay, so I'll see you back here when that's all nice and done. Okay guys, this is how it turned out. It's not completely dry right now, but it's mostly dry, and we're just going to get it wet right now anyway. So our next prompt is to cover with thin washes of color. And on these challenges, Mike gives color prompts as well as word prompts. And I don't always follow them, but I figured I might as well give it a shot. And this mission's color prompts are teal, raspberry, and bright yellow, and I tried to come as close as I could. I have an apple barrel teal here. This DecoArt Americana is in vivid violet, but I thought that was pretty close to raspberry. And then I have an apple barrel sunny day. So I just put them in some palette dishes and have watered them down, and I'm actually going to wet my page again. We have all that decoupage on there, so that'll give us interesting background. So here we go, and I'm just going to apply a thin wash of the colors, and I'll use all of them. Okay, I have no plan. I never think about these challenges before I start them. I like to just let it flow. Can't go wrong. These colors look beautiful together. All right, and then come in with the yellow. All right. Random. You can see the print through it. I think I'm going to come in with a little more of the raspberry or the vivid violet. let this dry. And the next prompt is going to be make marks with your fingers, so I'll get something else to do that with. Alright, what do you think? That looks pretty cool, right? I think. I don't know how true the color is here. I think it looks pretty cool. I'm happy with it. And we'll let it dry and we'll come back and make some more marks. Okay guys, this is pretty dry now, and our next prompt is to make marks with your fingers. So I'm going in with some Americana acrylic paint in titanium white. I already have a glove on. I have some in a little palette dish here, and I'm just going to do like some dots. How unique. Little paw prints. Looks pretty good to me. What do you think? Alright, you know what? I always say I'm done, and I'm never done. I'm going to go in with just single dots to break it up here. Break it up. Okay, that's enough. We'll let that dry, and then our next prompt is to use a stencil. Use a stencil or two to add texture. So let me look through my stencils while this is drying, and maybe we'll do some texture paste, or I'm not sure, but I'll see you back here when I figure it out. Okay, so our next prompt is to use a stencil or two to add texture, and I'm going to use this handmade Charlotte stencil by Folk Art. I've never used this before. It's got some beautiful mandalas and an elephant. I think I'm just going to use the mandalas, and I'll use some of this Liquitex matte gel through the stencil, and then when that dries, I have this paper flower stencil that I may go over the mandalas with, and I have some spray inks in the same kind of colors we used before. Here's a teal, and then this is violet, but it's kind of raspberry and yellow too. So we'll see how I'm feeling about that. But let me just show you quickly how I'll do one of these mandalas. I don't really want it, I'll kind of do it hanging off the page over here. I'm going to scatter them around. And I just have a small spatula. See what we get. And this will dry clear, but will look cool with the inks over it. I put it on a little thick, but you get the idea. So I'm going to just scatter around here. Maybe I'll do another one down here. And when these are dry, I'll come back and show you before we do the next layer. Okay guys, I let this dry overnight, and it is totally clear. I don't know if you can even get a sense of the texture underneath there, but it is there. I did 3 of the large mandalas, and then I did a couple of the little ones. So I am going to use this flower stencil here. I debated on using the mandala stencil again, but we put down some tactile texture. Now let's do some visual texture. So I think I'm going to go in, let's do this Delusions in Calypso Teal. This one is not permanent. Who knows? I'm also going to use the yellow, and I'm going to hold off on the magenta for a minute, but let's just see what we get here. And you know, while that's down there still, this is a DecoArt Medium Mister in Primary Yellow. This one is permanent. And I'm just going to go around the whole page doing this. Let's see what we get. It's probably just going to be a splash. I'll flip this over on this side for a later fun. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, what do you think? That's okay. So I'm going to continue around here and do the same thing. And like I said, I don't think at this time I'm going to use the magenta. I think we have enough going on here. So let me finish spraying up, and I'll be back with the next prompt, which actually is to add a focal image or two. So while this dries, when I'm done spraying it, I'm going to take a look through my stash and see what we have for focal image. So see you in a minute. Okay guys, it's just nice and dry now, and it is what it is. Looks like kind of a mess, but it is a background, so let's put stuff on top of it. And our next prompt is to add a focal image or two. So I went through my stash bag and I pulled out a bunch of stuff. Now I may use all of this stuff or just some of it. I don't really know, but this is what I pulled out. These are mixed media papers that I've created, things I've gotten in Happy Mail, images from coloring books, just an assortment of things. This was an advertisement for a yoga studio. So I don't know, you guys, I'm thinking of doing some kind of a collage, and with a very zen kind of a feel to it, I think. But we'll see what we come up with, and I will put them down on the page with some of my Aleen's. I thought about using some more decoupage, but I really don't want to reactivate the ink down there. So I'm going to cut these out, kind of fussy cut, and do some arranging, and I'll see you back here when I figure out how I want to do this. Okay guys, I haven't glued anything down yet, but I just wanted to show you what I'm thinking. This is what I'm thinking. I have these, again, these were envelopes that I just put acrylic paint on. These are some images from a coloring book. This is a stamp I did on some paper with alcohol ink. This was from an advertisement, and this came in some Happy Mail. And this was also an advertisement for a yoga studio. I'm going to take an X-Acto knife and cut out the blue so you can see this through it more. And I also have this lotus flower here that I'll probably glue like there. So that's what I'm thinking. And when I'm done, I'll probably outline things with a Stabilo pencil or something. I also may rip this edge here so it's not so sharp. But yeah, so I'll see you back here when that's all glued down. Okay, so I changed my mind, and I still haven't glued anything down yet. But I did take the X-Acto knife and cut her out, and I took my Faber-Castell pen and just colored her black. And I also cut the inside of this out because I really like how the other one looks through it. And I found two more of these in my stash, and I think that's how I'm gonna do it. Okay, And like I said, I'll outline everything. So let me glue this down and I'll be right back. Okay, so what do you guys think? I'm pretty happy with this. I went around, like I said, with my Stabilo pencil and activated it with a water brush just to kind of, you know, blend everything in together. And I think it looks really cool. So let's move on to the next prompt, which is to add splatters or textured sprinkles. And I didn't really want to add splatters on top of this, so I went digging and I found this really old glitter I have. It's like in a little Harry Potter cauldron, and it's very textured. It's full of stars, and I'm going to just go in and scrape some on my little knife here and kind of just put it down. Okay, randomly. So it's a really cool glitter. It has crescent moons and things like that. So I'm just going to go all the way around the page and add this in, which I'm loving already. And I think the prompt after this one is to scrape or drag white paint around my edges. So when I'm done adding this glitter here, which I don't want to get too carried away, and I'm just keeping it on the outer edges. I'm not putting any on the collage that we just put down. But when I'm done scraping this around here, which I think I'm just about done, I'll go get some white acrylic paint and we will drag that around our edges, and then I think the last prompt is just to add a border. So I think this page looks really cool. What do you guys think? Pretty happy with it. Love these challenges. They always take me to places I would never go on my own. I think that's the whole purpose of them, actually. So let me stop now before I just have a page full of glitter, and I'll get my acrylic paint. And I'll meet you back here with some kind of a credit card or something to scrape around the edges. See you in a minute. Okay, I grabbed some of my Americana acrylic paint in Snow White, titanium white, and we are going to scrape, drag some paint around the edges. I have a AARP card. I have no idea why they send that to me. And let's just, not very neatly. I don't want to do this too much. And we are going to be adding a border also, so I'm just going to kind of do this. I don't know if you can really make that much of a difference, but we're doing it. And I'll do the bottom. I'm not going to get too hung up on it. All right, there we go. I've scraped and dragged white paint and put a big blop right in the middle of my picture. There we go. Okay, so much for that prompt. And like I said, the final prompt is to add a border. So create a frame or border around your page. And actually, I have already figured out what I'm going to use. I did get this in some Happy Mail. And this is some stamped and cut paper. And it was actually like this. And I cut it in half. So I'm going to add to the bottom here. And also to the top. once the paint dries, obviously. And I will put that down with good old Aleene's, and I'm going to leave the sides just with that white that we just put there, and that'll be it. So I'll see you back here when that is done, and then we'll take some pictures of it so you can really get a good close-up and see what we're looking like. I really like this page. What do you think? Okay guys, we are done. What do you think? I'm really happy with the way this turned out. I put the borders down like I said, and I went around again with my good old Stabilo pencil and activated it with the water brush. And I also did that on the edges just a little bit over the white. And to seal it, and you can see it's super glossy right now, I use some of this DecoArt Americana sealer in gloss. So what do you think? I'm really happy with the way this page turned out, and I hope you are too. I will put all links below to Mike Deakin's Facebook group and all my information, supplies I used in the video. And I will see you with next month's mission inspiration. Take care, guys. Bye-bye.